maps of Turkey nowadays. Ladies and gentlemen, in those little packages that we provided for you, okay, you can find a map of Turkey and you can find out where we are driving. Actually, we have an electronic map right here. We are here, okay, we're heading up north. Well, it's a very big country, it's been not pointed. Pergamum is not on this map, but we're heading basically up north, 60 miles. Istanbul here, the distance is about 8 hours from here to Istanbul. If you drive, it takes you about 8 hours. Flight takes about 45 minutes. Istanbul up north, Ankara right in the center, the capital of Turkey. It's about 10 hours drive from here to Ankara. It's about 500 miles from here to Ankara. About 400 miles from here to Istanbul. Istanbul located up north. You are in the Asian part now. This is Asia Minor. 97% of Turkey lay in Asia. 3% of Turkey lay in Europe. When you were in Istanbul, you were at the European part. Now you are on the mainland. You know it from the history books in the New Testament, written as Asia Minor. Asia Minor is the old name. We name it Anatolia. Anatolia and Asia Minor is the same place. Different term, but same spot. By the way, this is where we maintaining our Navy ships, okay? This is they have dry docks here. They are maintaining all the ships. These are Turkish Navy. But the NATO base located at the end of the bay, little outside, and we have submarines and everything there located. Turkey is the second largest army in NATO. After the Americans, second largest army, and a member of NATO since 1940. Today when we go to Asclepion in Pergamum, we will see the tank troops. So we have army bases all over in West Coast. We have 1.3 million soldiers, and it's a mandatory service for the youngsters, for the boys, to participate to the military service. 15 months. So every Turkish boy participates to the military service for 15 months. They do basically the training for 6 months, learn about all the army stuff, and then according their skill and professions they will be sent to different divisions. So everyone goes to army. This is the big market area of Karşıyaka on the left hand side. This is a district. This is one of the most beautiful part of Izmir. Actually, it's a very modern city. Much smaller than Istanbul. Maybe 1/5 in size, population-wise. Because Istanbul 16. Here we're talking about 3.5, 4 million population. Little further, ladies and gentlemen, left hand side, we have the very big jet base, the Air Force base in Izmir, called Chile. This is where we're doing the training of the F-14 and F-16s. Left hand side, Chile, it's been all written in the sign. You can easily read all those signs. Only the pronunciation in Turkey is like in German. Okay? Like you say A, we say A. You say E, we say E. You say I, we say E. So these letters you're looking at sounds like in German. This has been started in 1923 with the modern Turkey. Before that we had those Arabic letters, okay, in Turkey. So they made Atatürk made the revolution in literacy, and we took this modern Latin alphabets. The only difference, for example, that C with a little dot underneath, a sidala, has the ch sound, okay? Like in my name, Tunç. T, U. U, we pronounce U, okay? T, U, and C with a little sidala underneath, Tunç. S with a little sidala underneath, sh. O with dots, like in German, or U with dots on top, So when you just look at all these signs here, you can easily read them. but a couple of those letters has been pronounced different. We have 29 letters. And the literacy change we started with Atatürk in 1923. Imagine a nation of 20 million at that days. Now we have 78 million. They've been forced actually to change their literacy. They were speaking Turkish, but their letters for writing was in Arabic. So they changed the alphabet. So we have the modern letters. So little outside of Izmir, we will be able to see a bit of the farming that they do here, because Turkish economy depends on agriculture, farming. We will see a few of the factories. We're going to pass a couple of these rivers, and then we will reach to Bergama. Bergama in Turkish, Pergamum, the international name. Bergama is a town of Izmir. Izmir has a very large city borders. About 60,000 people lives there. One of the modern towns of Izmir, and very important historical site. What makes Pergamum so important? It's a kingdom that they ruled, even though Ephesus, at the time, the family of the Attalids conquered that area. It's basically built after the death of Alexander the Great by his adopted son called Philotyros. And the highest city in Turkey, the highest archaeological site, that's where the name of Acropolis comes from, is the highest point of the city. And the first hospital in the history in Asia Minor, the first hospital that we name as Asklepion, named after the god of health Asklepios, where Galilei, the famous doctor in the history, started to teach. Galilei, that's the hometown in the history, and it's a place where the paper being discovered or invented against papyrus. We name it pergament, okay? Named after the city of Pergamum, made out of the skin of animal, ram, sheep, goats, dried in the sun and cleaned with obsidian stone. We name it parchment paper, okay? Parchment. Papyrus grows only along the river Nile. That was an export item from Egypt. But the Egyptians, while they had the biggest library in Alexandria, they got little concerned about the success they had in Pergamum and in Ephesus, the Celsius library, and they stopped sending this papyrus plant grows by the Nile. So people living in Asia Minor, they found another solution. They started to write on dry skins. And this paper we named pergament, named after the city of Pergamum, and it's been named as parchment paper. So that was one of the discovery, okay, in the city. Another thing, during the Greek period, Hellenistic period, this city became so powerful, they started their own kingdom and independency, and they ruled all the other Greek cities, till the Romans came and all the cities fell in the hands of the Romans. And then Pergamum is being also, even though mentioned in the New Testament, in the Bible, it's being considered as one of the 7 churches of Revelation. By the way, where we started, Smyrna, where we are right now, is also one of the 7 churches of Revelation. Ephesus, Thyatira, Philadelphia, Sardis, Laodicea. These are the 7 churches of Revelation. They are located in 50 up to 70 miles distances in west part of Turkey. So when we do the biblical tours, the tour of the 7 churches, it takes us about 5 days to visiting all the communities, all 7 churches. Size of Turkey, 300,000 square miles. The biggest country in Europe. 789,000 square kilometer. That's the actual size of Turkey. When you compare it with other countries, it's slightly bigger than Germany, 5 times bigger than Britain, 15 times bigger than Holland. Comparison to the United States, slightly bigger than Texas. To cross the country from west to the east takes approximately 22 hours, and it's about 1,300 miles. A flight takes about 2 hours 15 minutes. So it's a very big country. It's a peninsula surrounded 3 sides with water. Up North Black Sea, South Mediterranean Sea, West Aegean Sea, and there's the Strait Bosphorus that you were actually in Istanbul that you have been landed. And also there is Dardanelles, which is the passageway 80 kilometer, 50 miles in length. The natural two straits makes the connection of Black Sea down to Aegean Sea and the Mediterranean. So basically where we are is the Aegean Sea and it's the border with Greece. And we have the Greek islands located very close to Turkey like Mytilene, Kos, Rhodes, Chios. These are the islands close to Turkey and the mainland Greece. From here to Athens takes about 20 minutes flight. It's only 250 kilometers from here to Athens. Of course, in between we have Chios, Santorini and Mykonos as the islands in between Athens to Smyrna. So Smyrna is the ancient name, Izmir is the modern name. The history dates back to Alexander the Great, 334 BC. He came through Dardanelles and made the independence of the old Greek cities, because the Greek cities built in Asia Minor dates back to 900 BC. And these cities fell in the hands of the Persians and ruled by the Persians, who actually came from east. And all this land, Asia Minor, was under the Persian occupation over 200 years. And Alexander, who came from Macedonia, started the first war in Dardanelles called Granicos. And after that battle, he opened the gate for the Greeks to Asia Minor and made all the independence of the Greek cities. This is the beginning of the Hellenistic period. And at the time that he came to Izmir, according to legends, he fell asleep while he was hunting up to that Pagos mountain. He saw a dream, an oracle just given the order to make the new city upon that mountain. So that plateau we saw nearby the harbor is where the first Greek city in Smyrna built. Smyrna, by the way, is a name of an Amazon queen. Many of the cities in Asia Minor named by the Amazon queen names. And where does the Amazons, the female fighters, come from? From Black Sea, up north of Asia Minor. For example, Ephesus, Smyrna, these are the names of the Amazon queens. And that's where the name of Smyrna comes from. Smyrna, even though, is the oldest city, where they have a name in the United States, Smyrna or Philadelphia. These are the cities built first in Asia Minor, dating back to 3rd century BC or 1st century AD. Is one of the 7 churches of Revelation, Philadelphia in Turkey. By the way, you see the metro system or train, fast train system. These are the connections to the factories. Ladies and gentlemen, all these factories you're looking at here, these are textile factories, because we grow the best quality cotton here, and premier export item in Turkey is textile. Other important export from Turkey is automobile industry. We manufacture 1 million vehicles. All the foreign companies, they have their factories. Therefore, we saw some new cars waiting to be loaded on the ships to be shipped to other places. Mitsubishi and Mercedes, for example, we are on a Mercedes bus. Mercedes buses and trucks being manufactured in Turkey. Ford, Honda, Opel, Toyota, Fiat, Kia, Hyundai, these are the few of those companies that they have very big manufacturing in Turkey. The reason is Turkey is in between Europe and Asia, a natural bridge, and cost of labor is lower. One of a safe country, member of NATO and United Nations, that brings all the foreign investors to come to Turkey. On top of that, while we are not a member of EU, we do not be affected that much from the global world crisis. And Turkey is one of the 7 self-sufficient countries in the world. What we manufacture and produce as food-wise is enough to feed the 78 million. On top of that, we do export to other countries. So Turkish economy basically depends on agriculture. So let's go back to the history. 300 BC started the Hellenistic period. After the death of Alexander the Great, actually Alexander had no kids to inherit the land that he captured all the way to India. So it's been divided through his three commanders. One of his commander called Lysimachus actually got the control in the west part of Asia Minor. And he's the one actually built the city of Ephesus. At the time that Alexander came, the big shrine, the biggest pagan shrine, Artemis Temple, or known as the Temple of Diana, located in Ephesus, was a very important pilgrimage for the Greek citizens. So he restored a temple during his visit, and this temple considered as one of the 7 highlights. So Lysimachus, after the death of Alexander the Great, nearby the Artemis temple, created a very big city. And that's the famous Greek and Roman city, Ephesus, where they had the 3rd largest library, important trade center, very important export harbor in the history. Because where we are right now is the end of the continent Asia, at the end of the Silk and Spice Road starts in Orient. Many of the cities has been established after the visit of Alexander the Great. Especially in this area, we have a very good climate. Climate is typical Mediterranean. It doesn't snow in this area. In the winter, very mild weather. And very fertile farm grounds, as you see. And on top of that, lots and lots of water brought here by the rivers, okay? We have the Meander River, Kairos River. These are the rivers actually bringing all the fertility to the country. So Ephesus, Pergamum, Smyrna, even though up north, Troy, they were very important cities in the history. So in the Hellenistic period, the Greek cities lived their highlights. They were so rich, and 1st century BC, all these Greek cities here fell in the hands of the Romans. Roman ruled those cities, and Roman period started 1st century BC till 360 AD. During that time, all these cities considered as Roman cities, but people who lived here were the Greeks. So, after 360 AD, the Roman period failed and started a new period. We name it Byzantine period, and Constantinople became the capital of the Christians and the capital of the Byzantine. Byzantine is basically the Christian period started in Asia Minor. 1100s, Turks came from Central Asia. That's where originally the Turks come from. Southern Russia, from the Ural-Altay Highlands, where the Turks originally comes from. They've been immigrated here as nomadic tribes. And they captured all this land till to the western shores at the 1100s. And 1453, they went up north, crossed the Dardanelles, and they conquered Constantinople, and a new period of the Turks being started, and the capital named as Istanbul. This is the Ottoman period. In the Ottoman period, the Turks ruled over 10 million square kilometers, 6 million square miles area. Half of Europe, all Northern Africa to Morocco, all Middle East and Southern Russia. They made such a large borders. But the system of the Ottomans failed after the French revolutions, and all that land that they controlled been lost. And 1923, with Atatürk, a democracy started here. We defeated the sultans, and a democratic period started. This year, we're celebrating the 19th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey. We built the new Republic of Turkey in 1923. And this year, on the 29th of October, that's another important national day, we will celebrate the 19th anniversary of the Republic of Turkey. All the archaeological sites we're having dates back to the Greek and Roman period, 1st century BC. We have in Turkey 360 archaeological sites, and only 35% of them been excavated in the recent history. Pergamum, that we're going to visit today, is one of the well-preserved and important archaeological sites of Turkey. Famous with the Asklepion and Acropolis. We're going to see them, and after that we get our refreshments and drive back to the harbor. Alright, here, ladies and gentlemen, you see lots of petrol stations, and you will read the prices written in Turkish lira. And these are the prices per liter. $1 is 1.82 lira. So that means per liter 2.5 lira. Times 3.2, roughly $10 we pay per gallon, okay? So petrol prices are very high. With the British, we are the one of a nation that we are paying the highest amount of petrol prices. So in Turkey, we do not have our own sources. Whatever we need as petroleum, 17% we get from our own sources. The rest, 83%, we do get from our neighbors, like Iran, Iraq, Azerbaijan. We do get our petroleum from them. So in Turkey, basically, we do not have high taxes. Income tax 20-21%. Value-added tax depends on the items you're buying, but 8% up to highest 22%. To cover in Turkey the free education system, because in Turkey we have free education system, even though we have the universities in Turkey free. At the universities we do not pay for studying. And in Turkey we have 19 million students. 65% of the nation is under the age of 30. Turkey is a very young and dynamic country. And in Turkey we have free education system. So how can we cover the free education system? With the high petrol prices. And because of the height of the country, most of the transportation in Turkey has been done by vehicles, with buses, trucks. So Turkey is therefore having very high petrol prices. And also we have a free healthcare system to cover all that expenses, ladies and gentlemen. We do have very high petrol prices. So we pay roughly 10 or 11 US dollars per gallon. All the prices you're looking at in liter in Turkish lira. That's our currency. 1 US dollar is 1.81 lira, 1 euro 2.35. These are the exchange rates to Turkish lira. And mainly Turkey is a Muslim country. 99.2% is Muslim. You can see some of those towers rising up. Those are the mosques. But in Turkey, only 35% of the nation practice 5 times a day and doing the rules of Islam. So we don't have the pressure of Islam in this country. Up on the hill, there's a monument dedicated for the ones died in the Independence War. Today, probably they had a very big celebrations up there. You can see this very big Turkish flag rising up on the hill. This is a monument dedicated for the people died for their country. It's a cemetery area and a monument dedicated for the Turks who died in the Independence War to protect their countries. So this green bit with those cedar trees and pine trees is a monument. This is a place called Menemen. Again, you can see all over Turkish flags rising up. This morning, in every school, in every stadium, in every state building, even though it's Sunday, they had very big celebrations. And tonight, there will be also very big celebrations in the town and in the cities. So for example, we're passing a town now, you can see everywhere some of those Turkish flags rising up. At the end of this year, we have the elections for the municipalities. Nowadays, the parties been started to put their flags and everything and make speeches. At the end of this year, in October, I assume they have the municipality elections, so they will select their mayors for the town and cities. This town is very well known with basket making, as you can see those baskets hanging. On top of these terracotta pots, which they're using it as a flower pot or for slow cooked meat, we're using terracotta pots. And there's some jars to fill the olive oil and water. You can see them over there. Look on the right hand side here. So terracotta handmade pots and potteries. This is the town called Menemen. You see the monuments also, some symbols all over of the pots. For centuries, beginning of the Hittites, these are the ancestors of the Turks, Hittites, beginning of the civilizations from the Bronze Age, they started here making pots. example, Renault. We have also factories of Renault and Dacia. These are the French companies. We have their factories located in Turkey. So from now on, we're going to be driving more of the countryside. You're going to see lots of farming going on here. Because of this very good climate and soil and water, we do have lots of factories here. The factories located in the big towns, but on the countryside, you can see vineyards, okay, grapes, peach orchards, tangerine trees, olive trees, fig trees, pomegranate trees, and cotton farms all around this area. So Turkey is a very productive country. In June we get the peaches, August we get the grapes and figs. In December we get the olives, and we get the tangerines also in the winter. Winter starts with mid of November till end of March. Then starts the spring and the summer period. So 8 months we do not get any rain. It gets very dry here. But to make all this farming, we do have plenty of water being collected in the big artificial lakes, and we have lots of surface water in this area. So farming is one of the primary income for the Turkish economy. By the way, all this land you're looking at around here is privately owned by the local families. 65% of the economy in Turkey depends on agriculture. 25% depends on industry. And just the 5 or 10% of the income of Turkey depends on tourism. Even though we get 35 up to 40 million visitors every year to Turkey, that's just a minor income in Turkey.